Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. Now, today's podcast episode, I want to talk about the money and how you can make money from your passion. Now, I want to get this out of the way early on in this podcast because I don't want you building a business around your passion and not making any money out of it. Because even though, you probably love what you do, I'm sure the only reason you're going into it is because you want to make money out of it. You want to ditch your 9 to 5 job. You want to have more financial freedom. You want to spend your life doing things you'd like to do instead of doing things for other people. So if that's what you're thinking is, you really need to make money from your passion. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because if we imagine that this is you with your passion business, you're creating content, you're making videos, you're doing all the things you like to do. And if you think that the people over here who are your potential customers, you need to find how you can actually intersect with them. And the only way you can intersect with them is you need to look at what you do from their point of view. Because even though you probably don't want to think this, we're all selfish little sods. I've said it here many times in this podcast, but we really are all selfish little sods. We have this little mantra in our head of, me. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? And your potential customers over here have that mantra in their head. They're thinking, how can this person with this passion help me? So what you need to do is you need to take your eyes off what you're doing and you need to put yourself in their shoes. You have to look at their life. And what you need to do, as I said, you need to find some way where you can intersect the two, where you can meet a group of people who have a problem, a frustration that you can help with your passion. That's where the money is going to come from. While it's all good and well creating content and putting a lot of things all over the internet and doing this and doing that, if it's not doing anything for someone else, well then you're just in this kind of echo chamber on your own. There's nobody in the room with you. So you really need to, get in front of that people that have a problem that you can help with your passion. So what I want you to think about is something called payment. That's Pain, meant. And it was something the great Ben Settle said one time in a podcast episode of his, was that payment equals payments. So you're going to find that there is money in helping people with pain. Now again, it's probably not something you'd like to think about, but really people are really going to, open the wallet for things that's going to take some pain or frustration out of their life. I want you to think about this yourself for a moment. There probably is some pain in your life right now that you'd love gone. And if you could find a solution on the internet, if this pain was really annoying you, holding you back, maybe affecting your health or whatever, I'm sure you would willingly pay someone for a Kindle book, an ebook, a video course that would take that pain away from you. Now, I'm sure there's also frustrations in your life. So I want to talk about frustrations and pain points because they are a little bit different. When you think about frustrations for a moment, there are probably some things that frustrate you about maybe your life, maybe the home you live in and different parts of your life. But a lot of us can carry on with frustrations. We can be frustrated that we have to maybe, the front door doesn't lock properly. We have to slam the door twice to lock the door. That may be a frustration, but it mightn't actually be frustrating you that much that it becomes something painful that you just have to cough up some money to go and get a locksmith to change the lock in your door. You can probably carry on with your life with that small frustration. So what I want you to think about is, I don't want you to think about frustrations. I want you to think about pain points, because pain points are where the money is. Again, going back to the door. A pain point could be that maybe you come home and you find maybe that someone's broken into your apartment and the place is ransacked. So the pain point for you now is far more, stronger than the frustration. So you're phoning up that locksmith, you're asking them to change all the locks immediately. You don't care how much it's going to cost. You want your house securely, be able to securely lock your house again. So I'm sure you can see that pain point is painful for you and it's something that you're willing to pay out for. Now, in the beginning, I was someone who didn't like, thinking about people in pain. or feeling that I was kind of taking advantage of those people because they were in pain and then I was looking for money off them. You need to get over that mindset, because if you're not helping this person with their pain point, you could be guaranteed that maybe someone else is. And you might find that maybe the person who's helping your customer with their pain point mightn't actually provide as good a solution as you could. So by you actually providing a better solution to that person with that pain point, you're going to help them. You're going to help them get rid of that pain point once and for all. So what I want you to do is I want you to grab a piece of paper and pause this for a moment and come back. So hopefully by now you have a piece of paper. But what I want you to do is I want you to think of your potential customer, the type of person that is going to overlap with your business. Now, it depends on what your passion is, what you're looking to do, how it'll intersect. So for example, here my passion is helping people, build a business around their passion. So what I would do is I would think about the type of person who is in this situation, who would like to build a business around their passion. And what I do is I mentally put myself into their shoes and just think to myself, if I was where they are, what would be the questions I would have? What's holding me back? Now, just mentally, just thinking off the top of my head, someone who has a passion, who wants to build a business, probably has things like, how do I build a website? How do I find customers? How do I create products? How do I find time to work on my business? How do I get over maybe my lack of confidence of actually putting myself out there? All those kind of questions will come to me. So it's easy for me to do that. Now, if you find that maybe where you are, you're just starting off and you're just thinking, well, what is my potential customer like? I want you to start thinking about your passion and then thinking, who can your passion help? Now, what I want you to do is, first of all, I want you to go over to Google. Just go over to Google and just type in some questions. Type in some questions that you think your audience could be asking, and then just have a look at what the search results come up with. Now, you will find that probably the longer the question you type into Google, the probably more pain point is in it. So, for example, somebody could type in Google today, start a business. Now, that's just a kind of generic thing. There's nothing really much in it, start a business. But what if someone typed in, how do I start a business when I don't have time? How do I start a business, when I've got kids? I'm sure you can see that the longer the question they actually type into Google, it's becoming more of a pain point. It's showing the struggle that they have, whatever the problem is. So just start typing out, in the beginning. And a really great thing about Google is if you actually start typing and just pause for a moment, sometimes you'll find the autocomplete will actually give you a prompt of what other people are typing into Google. So you might maybe start off with a simple thing like start a business, hit the space bar, and then suddenly Google comes up with whatever people are putting on the internet. And then what you could do is you just get a piece of paper and start writing those things down. And again, as I said, the more definite request that they have, it's going to lead you into knowing what their pain points are. Now, other than Google, there are lots of places that you can actually find out what the pain points are. Another thing you could do is maybe go to maybe a forum, maybe a Facebook group or on social media, and just sit in a group and just listen to what's going on. Get into the most popular threads, whatever your passion is. See, is there a Facebook group or a forum or something like that? And just go in, spend some time in it today, just read through the posts. And again, you will find people will put, queries in, I've got this problem or whatever, any solutions to this. And then have a look at those pain points and then ask yourself, is this something I could help someone with? Would this be something that someone would pay me for? Now, you will find that even though maybe it is already covered in a Facebook group or something like that, you're saying to yourself, well, if it's already discussed here, there's no way I can come along, write an ebook about this, create a digital product about that, and actually charge money for it because someone's already solving this problem for free over here. Again, dismiss that idea, because you're going to find that when it comes to solving problems, someone could go on the internet right now, could spend the next 3 weeks trying to find the answer to their question. Or they could buy your product today that gives them that answer in the next 10 minutes. And by you saving them all that time of them not having to do that research, it makes it easier for them, and they will gladly pay you for that product for saving them the time of having to try and find the answer to the solution. So just spend some time in those Facebook groups and social media and just listen to what people are talking about. And you're going to find that sometimes the same questions come up again and again and again. Now, other places you can go to find out what people are having problems with is Kindle books. Kindle books are a brilliant research tool. Now, what I mean by that is I don't mean you need to buy loads of Kindle books. What you should do is, again, going on your passion, just go over to the Kindle store, type in the kind of topic you are hoping to build your business around, and see what books come up. Now, what I would do is I'd have a look at maybe the top 10 books in that niche that you're looking at. And then what you'll find is if you click on each book, you will find if you hover sometimes over the book cover, or sometimes it might actually be a link below it, you can click on the book and read the first page or two. And you will find sometimes you can actually get into the table of contents of the book. Now, the reason of finding the table of contents in a book is really powerful, because you're going to find that the person who is selling this book, that's a bestseller because of its top of the category, you can be guaranteed the topics that they are talking about in that book are pain points. They're helping their reader with problems. Whatever problem they have, that book is based on that. So go through maybe the top 10, the top 20 books, have a look at the table of contents. And again, as you go through the names of the chapters, you're going to find topics coming up again and again and again. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to write a book on all that stuff. Even just taking one topic out of a book, one chapter title, could be the start of your next, blog series, email course, Kindle books, video course, whatever. That could be just a starting point. So don't think you need to write everything that they do. Just find out what the pain points are in the book. And that's going to really help you out as well too. And as well too, when you're in the Amazon Kindle store, actually go through the reviews. Have a look at the good ones and also the bad ones. You're going to find more from the 5-star reviews and the 1-star reviews than you are from the 3 or 4s. The 3 or 4s are kind of average people who just not really concerned about the book. But you're going to find the 5-star people are going to love the book, and they're probably going to tell you why they love the book. And the reason they love the book is because it covered such and such a topic. So again, write that down. So that was something that audience wanted to see. Again, have a look at maybe the 1-stars and the 2-stars, because you're going to find that those people are probably disappointed in that book because it didn't cover this topic. Or if it did cover it, it didn't cover it as well as other books did. And again, write that down. And that's going to give you more information of the pain points in your audience. Now, if you have an audience of your own, that's brilliant. You can start off there, first of all. You can just send a survey out to them and just ask them, what is the biggest problem you have right now? Just that one question. What's the biggest problem that you have right now? Or if you haven't got your own audience, again, go into maybe Facebook groups, or if you can, get in front of somebody's audience, ask them to ask that audience that question. What's their biggest pain point? And then you're going to find what is the number one thing, and hopefully it will be a thing that you could help your audience with. And if you don't have the information right now, don't give up. What you can do is you can go off yourself. Go on the internet, go over to YouTube, read some Kindle books, and become an expert on that particular topic. And then you can take all that information that you have gathered, put it in your own voice, and then hand it back to your audience. So as I said, while it's all great and good building a business around your passion, it's okay if we are happy over here. But if we aren't helping people over here that have the cash, we're never going to make any money. We need to find how we can intersect. And it might be that maybe your initial passion isn't going to bring you closer to a group. Maybe you might need to go into maybe a second passion that you have, or something that's, close by that you would like to do. Maybe not as much as your original passion, but as long as it brings you closer to an audience of people who have got problems, it means you have a good chance of making money in it. So hopefully you have a piece of paper and you've written all that down. If you haven't, just if you want to go back to this podcast episode again and just take a note of all the different places. And by then, you should have a whole list of what pain points your potential audience has. And as I said, don't worry, if you think someone else has already covered it, you can cover it as well. So we're going to go through all these different topics sometime in the future, so don't be worrying too much right now. But I just want you to start off on a good footing. I don't want you to build a business around a passion that's never going to make you money. We need to find out what people's pain points are, because payments are payments for you. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.